Hello and welcome to another episode of The Backspace. I'm your host, Danny J. This week's title, Wii U, Revenge of the Nofriendo Lamecube. Brian talks about the travesty that is Dungeon Keeper's pay-to-play model, Nelson describes the groundbreaking Goat Simulator, and Spencer reviews Bravely Default. Despite the title, we start the show with a little Nintendo love. Someone said Nintendo. We should talk about that, or at least have a bit of a period to talk about it.
I wouldn't mind having some words about the old Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk?
The savior of gaming, you mean? The only company who releases games that are complete upon launch these days?
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Battlefield 4 is a travesty.
It just seems like every other company in the world is releasing games that are broken or have content stripped out so they can sell it back to you on day one, or games like Forza where you just have to spend hundreds of dollars if you want the entire game. Like,
oh God, Forza, man. I've heard some shit about that game.
Yeah, it seems like everybody else is like obsessed with micro monetization, whereas like, I don't know, when you buy a Nintendo game or a game on a Nintendo system, it seems like you just get the whole game. And that's like a thing that I'm used to, because it seems like back in the day, when you bought a game for like PlayStation 2 or, whatever system, didn't matter, GameCube, PlayStation 2, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, Sega Genesis, you got a whole game, Mm-hmm. And it worked.
Yeah, DLC bullshit.
Yeah,
like Dungeon Siege. Can you guys hear about the Dungeon Siege fiasco? It's
Dungeon Keeper?
Dungeon Keeper, thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
God. Yeah, I've heard of it.
I have not, so we should probably explain it for me.
Electronic Arts put out a new free-to-play mobile version of Dungeon Keeper that apparently just shits all over the legacy of one of their most beloved franchises.
Oh, because EA.
So if you've never played Dungeon Siege, it's kind of...
Dungeon Keeper.
Sorry, that we planted the siege feed. Now it's over. This conversation is going to be confusing. But this game was pretty influential. It was a bit of a mix of like a strategy game, a little bit of a pre-tower defense. Like, it's sort of a precursor in a lot of ways to tower defense. You built a dungeon, and it involved mining out areas of this sort of blank slate you start with, like researching, attracting new monsters, building traps, and defending yourself against the good guys who would come and try to invade your dungeon. Mm-hmm. And it was a really beloved game with a really kind of quirky sense of humor and a neat art style and great voiceovers.
Well balanced, yeah. You can still play it on GOG if you want to, and it still looks good, still holds up.
One of the first games that popularized the concept of playing as the bad guy.
Yeah,
right.
I can't think of anything earlier than that. There was a big hit where you did.
But there were things that followed after that, like Overlord and Evil Genius and stuff like that, where you basically got to make your bad guy, build your evil empire, and that game was sort of the first one that did that.
Could Darksiders be kind of considered playing as the bad guy?
Yeah, an anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah.
So so EA really just slapped a whole bunch of microtransactions. If you want to do anything, if you want to build anything, you have to pay to unlock certain features, and they're all time based. They're all locked to time, kind of like Farmville. And who the fuck wants to play that game? That game is brutal, but it's sad because
the shit out of that one.
Yeah. Buried underneath that game is actually a really good little nugget of a game. But
what I think is actually funny about, if you look at Dungeon Keeper, it kind of charts the progress of labor relations, because in the old games, if you wanted your imps to work faster, all you had to do was beat them.
That's right.
Now if you want them to work faster, you have to pay money.
Yeah. Well, it seems that game's entire structure is based around the monetization, in that, like, that game, to continue playing, you have to continue paying. And this is a really disturbing model, because there is no option to just buy that game and not have to worry about these microtransactions. The entire game is based on microtransactions, and it really feels like there isn't much game there, so much as there is pay to continue. Mobile games are a joke. Like, let's not get... Like this isn't really anything new. It's just that they've dragged a really beloved franchise into it. Mobile games have been like this for a while, and it's terrifying. Like, it's a fucking joke, and this is an accepted model on both the iOS App Store and the Android Google Play Store. It's just you have these games, I'm going to put big fucking air quotes around that are entirely based on putting up paywalls between you and the big air quotes again, gameplay.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because Nintendo actually, Iwata announced last week, in order to sort of come up with some ideas, that they are going to move to some more mobile apps for your handhelds. But the idea is that they will just be a piece of the first-party titles. So, like, if you play that mobile game, hey, if you like this, you'll love it on Wii U, that sort of idea.
Yeah, it sounds like they're using it more as a promotional tool than an actual means of generating revenue through the mobile.
Test the waters. Yeah.
I think that, I don't know if that's going to work, to be honest.
Yeah. If you guys want a quick primer on this whole Dungeon Keeper thing, the Eurogamer article on it is actually fantastic. They make a strong case for saying that this game should not be called free to play; it should be called pay to play, because they say, where is it? There's an example of how crudely the system has been implemented. Upgrading your dungeon heart, the core of your lair, to level 3 only requires a few thousand rocks. Getting it to level 4, the cost rockets to 50,000. The ripple effect of upgrades needed so that your dungeon can even hold that much rock is ludicrous.
Right.
Scroll through some of the rooms and traps yet to be unlocked, and you'll see the price of items heading north of 7 figures. And they gave it a 1 out of 10, and they said you can pay 800 gems for the rest of the rating.
Nice.
It looks good, though. Like, it looks like a really tightly, well-designed game. It's unfortunate, though.
Well, it's got the kind of cartoony aesthetic that Dungeon Keeper always had, and there's some real shenanigans going on with this thing. Again, if you look on Reddit, there's the spam that this thing starts sending you when you download it is just insane, and the unsubscribe link at the bottom of the emails is actually in German.
Oh no, that's hilarious. It should yell at you in German too.
They tell you to add them in English. The instructions for keeping out of the spam filter are in English, but right below that there's a German opt-out.
And the other thing about that game is it prompts you to rate it in the store, and if you try to rate it below 5 stars, it will take you to an EA feedback form. Whereas if you rate it positively, it'll take you to the respective app store to rate it on the store. And so you're seeing like this huge divergence between what Metacritic is saying, where it's like a solid 0 from customer reviews, and then like there's a few, like the Macworld or whatever, one of those stupid fucking magazines propped it up, or the sites that only review mobile games are giving it like fair reviews, and that's fair because it's just they're comparing it against all the other shit that's on the mobile app stores, because there's no good games on mobile. When you're comparing it against that crap, it must look par for the course. But then you see like the actual gaming journalism websites giving it solid 1s and 0s. The users are giving 1s and 0s. But then you look at the Play Store and the App Store, and this thing's got 5-star reviews, and it's got tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. And I can't help but wonder if EA, because it seems like they're the kind of company that would do this, if they're seeding that with fake Google Plus reviews. Like, I would.
Cool.
I'm looking at the screenshots of that right now. There's a button. Yeah, how would you rate your experience? And there's one button that says 1 to 4 stars, and another button that says 5 stars. And then if you tap on the 1 to 4 stars button, it sends feedback. It allows you to email EA feedback. So the only way you can actually submit a legitimate review is to rate it 5 stars.
This is unbelievable. Like, this is the Streisand effect in gaming format. Like, how do they possibly think that they can get away with this? Like, I guess they are. I guess they're just making their money until the, until the whole outcry dies down. That's it.
Because they're a big company and they can do what they want. The only thing is, like, about pay to play, it's not anything new. I mean, take a look at World of Warcraft. You can't play that game unless you pay your monthly subscription. So I don't necessarily have an issue with pay to play. It's just for a shitty game. Yeah, okay. Pay to play is kind of ridiculous.
I would argue that pay to play on an MMORPG, though, makes a lot of sense because you're paying for like this massive server infrastructure. This is a very simple game. Like, this is a game that you can buy on GOG. Like, you can buy a far superior version of this game on GOG that you'll pay once and you'll be able to play it from beginning to end, and it's a good game.
Yeah, in this case, pay to play makes no sense, but it's still, something that companies do every once in a while. I mean,
but
whether or not it's warranted in this case, no, it's totally not, because, hey, it's a bad game.
It's game breaking. It's not. It's not a game.
Yeah.
And knowing EA, it probably sends all your text messages to some server somewhere and stores all your infos.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But you look at these Play Store reviews, and it's pretty insane. All the 5 stars are. There's people in here that are giving it 5-star reviews and saying it's too expensive to play this game. It's then why are you giving it a 5-star review, you fucking ass?
I think it's because they want to actually be able to post something.
Yeah, they want.
Even if it's really negative feedback. That's the only way they can do it.
Sorry.
My bad.
Started a video. No, my bad. But it's the only way they can actually submit any kind of feedback.
Yeah,
to submit a 5-star review.
You can
that everybody can see.
By going the other way around. If you go through the Play Store and submit it that way, you can do it. But the in-app just never prompts you to go straight to the Play Store. But it's very funny looking at these reviews. And there's also there's some ways you can game reviews in both the Play Store. I don't know if you can do it in the Play Store, but I know on the App Store you can. It'll by default show reviews for the current version of the app, so you can push out an update to an app that's being reviewed poorly, and seed some decent reviews in there to get its average up, because it'll typically show the reviews for the current version, not all historical versions. I kind of think Play Store does that too, because by default it shows all versions, not current versions. So kind of a
Another amazing thing about this is that Peter Molyneux, the creator, one of the creators of people involved in Bullfrog, with the original game, he's actually weighed in and said, if you actually want a good remake of this game, then here's the Kickstarter that you should be backing. It's this game called War for the Overworld that he's basically thrown his support behind. He's like fuck yeah.
That's awesome. I took a look at that. Huh?
Wow, Brian, you're mad lagging. Just saying.
Lagging.
I am?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Seems okay now, but wow, that was interesting.
Getting better.
Sorry, I didn't hear it on this end. That's weird.
Yeah, well, just you gotta watch out for that stuff. I don't know. It's like what do you call that? Schrodinger's video game. You gotta. Who knows what's in there? I don't know. So going back to the Nintendo though, there's definitely a huge issue here. It's no secret that there's a lot of love for that console here at the Backspace, and Iwata has actually talked to the board of directors. He's last week and made it public about the idea of unifying the platform between a handheld and consoles. That could be the answer, but then the issue could be, now do you have to run a mobile-based processor on the set-top box? That didn't quite work for the Ouya.
Yeah, I think they're talking pretty far, pretty long-term there. I think a good example of how that would look is having, or from what I read, it seemed like he was indicating that they wanted to have a common operating system between whatever the next generation platforms is. I don't think this addresses the issue with the Wii U at all. Mm-hmm. But one of the encouraging things, it sounds like they want to move to a proper unified account setup, which they made some strides late last year in linking or having that Nintendo Network ID work across the 3DS and the Wii U. So my hope is that pretty soon you'll be able to buy Virtual Console on one system and play it on both, because it's kind of insane the way it's set up right now, where it's locked to your console, and the only way to play it on a different system is to transfer the entire system over there. It's gross, and it doesn't, we're so used to being able to buy an application on Steam or on Google Play or on the Apple App Store or PlayStation Network or basically any other digital content distribution service in the world. and just play it wherever. Nintendo's the only one that's still logging it to hardware. So, maybe getting spanked like this will help them modernize some of these ridiculous business practices.
Absolutely.
Actually, the other day when you had mentioned that Four Swords was free, I fired up my 3DS and it prompted a system update. I was like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever, I'll do it. And after that, it took me through this brutally painful process of setting up, I guess it was a new Nintendo ID or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that was all about, but hopefully that's kind of their way of maybe unifying their services or getting a start for unifying their services in the future.
Yeah, so far it's limited to your account balance is shared between your 3DS and your Wii U. So if you add money to that account, you can use it on both systems.
Which is good.
It's a good first start, but it's still, I look at some of the games that I've bought over and over again throughout the years, like Mario Brothers 3. I have that on so many systems at this point. But, going forward, it'd be nice if that was just linked to an account, and if I wanted to play Mario Brothers 3 on whatever Nintendo system I have going forward, that I can just play it. I think that would make a lot of sense. Take it a step further, give me cloud saves. Let me play virtual console games and be able to save so I can play on my 3DS on the go and then go home and play it on my TV. That'd be
Cloud
amazing.
saves would be fucking awesome.
You got my money, Nintendo.
Well, and this is fucking Nintendo. They have the best back catalog out of any other company in the world. They have the most iconic franchises in the world. Super fucking Mario is more recognizable internationally than Mickey Mouse. I mean, they have this catalog that spans decades of amazing gaming, dating back to their early arcade releases. It's they're not utilizing
the fact that they've also been able to add a lot of the Sega catalog into their existing online catalog as well, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, and some of those Sega, Sega's putting more effort into their re-releases than Nintendo is, it seems. If you look at those 3D, the 3D arcade, I don't know what they call it, Sega Classics Collection, but they've done Super Hang-On and Space Harrier. And it utilizes the 3D screens. They've taken these old arcade games and they've brought them into this they've ported them to the 3DS, taking advantage of the 3D screen, and they look amazing. And Afterburner's coming out in a month or two, and I cannot wait. So excited for that.
Nice. Everybody say hello to Brian's puppy.
Hello, Brian's puppy.
Sorry.
Hi, puppy.
No, it's
Mark,
okay.
anytime somebody comes through the door.
Aw. She's a good girl. Yes, she is.
So there was some musing about Nintendo possibly releasing some of their games on mobile. In other words, Android and iOS.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I heard recently that was officially kiboshed.
Well, no, I did make mention of that earlier. Just that what they want to do is just release it would be the the bar game version of these first party titles. So just to grab people an advertisement to their first party titles. That's pretty much what they want to do. Now, as far as it being kiboshed, have you heard some latest news on that or?
I vaguely recall something about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Iwata basically saying he wasn't really looking or wanting to go that route, but Spencer can probably answer a little bit.
Well, it looks like the extent to which they want to reach out to mobile is as a means of advertising, as a means of promoting their games. If you look at Nintendo, they have the best-selling system right now, and not by a little bit. The 3DS is killing it out there, and they are the company out of everyone else who least needs mobile because they have a mobile product that is just dominating the video game marketplace.
That was the thing. Brian was mentioning that, if they go the mobile route, that would kind of dilute their sales, possibly for.
They'd just be picking their own pockets at that point, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it would. I mean, that would just be competing with the 3DS, and there's no reason for them to cannibalize 3DS sales to make a quick dollar on mobile. I don't think.
However,
it seems like
it being another channel for advertising. See, this whole thing, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I wouldn't mind being able to play Nintendo games on my Android, but I mean, I generally don't really play games on my phone. but I'm kind of in the minority as far as mobile phone users go. A lot of mobile people, they play games nonstop. They watch videos nonstop. Like pretty much everything most people use their phones for, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried playing games on my phone, and I just touchscreen controls are terrible. I mean,
especially the emulators.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible. It's for work and or streaming porn, and that's it.
Did you guys? Did you guys see that that Android app that got released and then promptly pulled from the store last week?
No.
Was it porn related?
Yes.
We can't go a single show without mentioning porn. Just
No.
Why would we want to?
Yeah, it's true.
This thing was genius. It's designed for users in the UK to get around the UK porn filter that's been implemented. So it uses basically it uses a proxy, and it's a very nicely designed. It uses all the Android design guidelines, and their website was very, very professional looking. It's gets you around content on the go. But the fucking app is called Jerky.
Jerky. I have to put a fine point on it.
Yeah, so the app's called Jerky, but it's so funny that an app with such a juvenile name and such a hilarious purpose would have such a wonderfully designed website and such a good visual style, and then it's just Jerky.
So let's roll back a quick sec to this this porn filter UK. What?
You haven't heard about that?
They're moving to block pornography.
Yeah.
Within the UK.
What?
And then some.
Mm-hmm.
It's the UK. They love their porn.
No sex, please. We're British.
They're run by conservatives right now, so.
Wow. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Think about the children, Nelson. Think about the children.
I'd rather
Yeah,
not.
there's going to be more children now,
porn.
right? Because, anyway, I'm not going to pull on that thread.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, it's a poorly implemented joke of a system so far. It seems like they're leaving the onus is on the ISPs to do the blocking, and they're not doing a very good job because tons of legitimate sites are being blocked. Everything from medical service providers to, you name it. They're just a League of Legends update was blocked recently, and no one knows why.
Probably a lot of mouth breathing and nerd rage going on about that one.
Yeah.
Yes, more porn news.
Oh no.
Did you guys see the commercial for Oculus Rift where the guy puts on the glasses and it's just giant vaginas and he's just, that's all he's doing is he's just living in this fantasy. I think it was actually an official Oculus Rift commercial. Yeah, for porn. Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. Of course that's what people are going to use.
Why not?
They're calling it out.
There was this article I saw in Japan, of course, where they came up with, basically it was like a fleshlight attached to a kind of, I don't know if it was a robotically actuated arm or whatever.
Oh, Dildonics. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, basically you throw on your Oculus, you jam your dick into this machine, and someone on the quote unquote other end is able to control how it works.
Yep.
Good lord.
So you can get a pseudo virtual internet handy J. Because Japan.
Mm-hmm. Well, back to the Oculus Rift. So,
okay.
I just want to talk a little bit about that because of all the different clones of the Oculus Rift that are being announced this year and
Sony's.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how much Sony's costs?
No.
A lot.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we're talking 1,500 ish.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's like a 3DO back in the day.
Yeah. Adjusting for inflation.
But did you guys hear about the EVE Online? The Valkyrie is becoming exclusive to the. I'm gonna have to edit this out. Oculus Rift. Valkyrie.
Oh yeah, they're developing.
Okay, yeah, Sony's Sony's headset.
Yeah, Oculus Rift. Or yeah,
the PS4 VR headset,
right.
And it's very, very impressive. No, I got that wrong. Strike that. So the EVE Valkyrie will be an Oculus Rift exclusive.
Oh,
not a Sony PS4
them.
Exclusive. Yeah.
See, I want the Oculus Rift to actually do well and be kind of like the forerunner or front runner of kind of VR headsets. I hate the whole term VR, but anyway. Like in Spencer's case, for playing flight sims, an Oculus Rift would be fucking killer. For me, specifically, I wouldn't really have a genuine use for it aside from maybe FPS games. But I still want them to do well and to just kill it when that thing, finally ships as a production-ready, full retail model. And I'd love to see them partner up with a bunch of different companies or different video game producers or production companies to make Oculus-specific games and stuff like that. Like, it's really interesting where the Oculus is going and what they can do with it.
Mm-hmm. Nintendo, they've already got these 3D ready games ready to go. There, we fixed their problem.
See, that's the thing though. Like, Oculus would probably work with Xbox because it's a Windows-based system, yada yada. Will it work with Sony? Probably not, because Sony wants to market their own. Will Nintendo be able to work with it? I doubt it. Nintendo likes to be fairly proprietary.
Yep.
But for 3D games, I don't know. Could be interesting.
Yeah, I was watching a video. So there's a little while ago, DCS World War II got kickstarted. So it's the guys that made. It's a plug-in for the Digital Combat series, which the most famous one is the A10C. Tons of videos on YouTube, people messing around with that. But DCS World War II got kickstarted last year, and it's going to be like 6 or 7 World War II planes plus a Western Europe map. And the latest Kickstarter update video, they were playing it with Oculus Rift, and it looked really cool. The gears were definitely turning in my head because, you're mixing both the perspective plus the head tracking into one thing. And head tracking is something that flight sim people have been doing for a long time now, and this just takes that immersion one step further. And I've really
seen some of the cherry rig setups that a lot of the DCS guys have used. It's pretty hilarious to see some of their setups, like IR points wrapped around their head, using a webcam to track it, blah blah blah. Like
that's what I have. I didn't buy Track IR because it's too expensive. So yeah. I made I used popsicle sticks and made a head tracking unit with LEDs, and it plugs in. It's powered off USB.
Does it actually work?
Yeah, it works great. And I have a little Microsoft, this cheap webcam with the IR filter removed that tracks those IR points.
Now if you sat down and you saw a person playing DCS with your setup versus someone playing it with the Oculus Rift, who would get laughed at more?
I don't know. I think honestly, I feel like anyone who starts investing in flight sims seriously, it becomes kind of laughable. You become one of those people that has just rudder pedals under your desk and a hands-on throttle and stick arrangement, or
builds like a almost realistic or possibly realistic cockpit.
Yeah, that's like a whole other level of dedication. I've seen there are people on those forums that have recreated the Black Shark cockpit, switch for switch, panel for panel. It's insane, and I'm super jelly, but but I wouldn't go that deep down that rabbit hole.
Did you guys hear about Grand Theft Auto? How much they sold?
A lot of that. Millions and millions.
Millions and millions. Take a guess how many millions and millions.
10?
Sorry, units or dollar value?
Yeah, copies sold.
Oh, jeez.
Somewhere around, I guess, 5.5 million.
32.5 million.
Fuck me.
Yep.
That's a lot of copies.
It's a lot of copies. It's in the top 10 for sure of most games ever sold ever.
I thought it already passed. I thought it was the biggest grossing video game of all time at this point.
No, that would be Wii Sports.
Oh, is it still Wii Sports?
Yeah.
It's a pack-in, though.
I know. It still counts. 82 million for Wii Sports. It's going to be a while.
How could that count, though?
It's a pack-in. Come on.
It counts.
Should not be. No. There should be like a pack-in filter for that.
Take it up with the guy who runs Wikipedia.
Wow.
Mr. Wikipedia, I have an issue.
Yeah, the Grand Theft Auto 5 is the 6th best-selling game of all time. It's right behind Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah.
Huh.
It hasn't even been released for PC yet. So.
Mario Kart Wii. Yeah. That was a good one.
So that'll be good.
Game Boy is the Tetris for the Game Boy is number 2 at 43 million.
I don't doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that game, back in my original Game Boy days, I owned it. That was probably the one game I played most on my Game Boy.
Okay, I think the list I was thinking of was actually gross sales. I think that might have been why it was ahead of some of the Wii stuff or something like that. It was like the most money made, or maybe it was just the first 2 weeks of release or something like that.
That's
the fastest
right.
selling game.
Yeah, it has broken records in terms of how fast it sold out, and that was very fast. So yeah, I thought that's good. That's much better than their the GTA 4 moved. I think GTA 4 is at 20 million. So basically, that puts Rockstar at the most profitable company of last year. So good for them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've never played a single GTA game, but
Fun.
Really?
You'd like this one.
I don't know. I probably
wait for the
would,
Steam sale
because at this point it's fairly polished and there's actual story to it, and the way they approach the gameplay, like being able to pop into the different characters, I probably would have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But knowing me, I'd probably stray off the main mission and then just end up in this rabbit hole of side missions and then never actually finish it, like a lot of other games.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for news.
Oh yeah?
What do you guys have? Anything you want to talk
Did you
about?
hear about Flappy Bird?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sad.
So apparently earning $50,000 a day ruined this guy's life.
Ruined his simple life, yes.
Yeah, his simple life has been ruined by making buckets and buckets of money from the dumbest fucking game I've ever played.
Yeah. That thing is so creatively bankrupt. Like I hadn't played the game before, and I looked into it a little bit, just in sort of when the fuss started getting kicked up, and that thing, it's barely a game.
Okay, so I've never actually I've heard of Flappy Bird, but I've never actually seen it.
It's Helicopter. It's basically Helicopter.
Yeah, it's Helicopter, except you're a bird, and it's real dumb. But it's, the ship has sailed. You can no longer grab it from the Play Store. He has yanked it. It's real dumb. I honestly, good for him, because it's so silly and so simple. It's this app this dude wrote in his spare time, like after work. I think he wrote it in a couple days, and at one point, $50,000 a day he was making in ad revenue. I can't even, like...
That's a lot of installs there.
Yeah,
to make that kind of ad
15 million downloads from what they were saying.
Jeez.
Oh, this is Flappy Bird. Watching a YouTube video.
Yeah,
it's insane, and I think a lot of people were pissed off because it used Mario's tubes. That was the big hubbub.
That was
people were mad
rage
about that. Yeah, how dare he use Mario's tubes?
Is that why he took it down? Was he being threatened legally?
No.
No,
I think he was just catching a lot of stick for people saying it was it was a uninspired design, and there was a lot of, I don't know, there was some rumblings that maybe he was getting some attention from unsavory people over how much money he was making. The guy lives in Vietnam apparently, and somebody was saying that his family or friends might have been getting threatened or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to say. There's nothing really corroborated at this time. All we really know is that it has been taken off.
Wow, yeah. This game looks hard as fuck.
Yeah, I think my highest score was like 5.
He might have just pulled off like the new Coke, classic Coke maneuver.
Well, that's the thing. There's like when this thing started getting popular, there are 1 million clones of this thing now. Like, it's a shitty, good on them for making money with it, but it's let's call it what it is. It's basically just a rip-off of Helicopter, and it's been done better before. I don't know why this one, it just kind of, it hit some kind of zeitgeist or something, and people started downloading it.
Kind of went viral and made a bunch of money.
Good on them for making money on it.
Fuck you guys, see ya.
But Brian, isn't that what every mobile game is just Flash games we played 15 years ago for free? That seems what it seems to me that both the App Store and Android, like all the games on there are just games we played 10 or 15 years ago as Flash games for free on Newgrounds.
Same shit, new skin.
The bad part about it is that I think the whole thing was done a little more for learning and enjoyment when it was Flash games and less about money. Like when people started making money on mobile games, all these guys who were making good Flash games went to mobile games and started, the whole kind of pay-to-play model kind of crept into it, and Flash games suck now.
Yeah.
So everything's like pay models, that are like the mobile games and stuff like that. And Flash gaming has never really recovered from that. But yeah, it's there's not much new under the sun when you get right down to it.
So because of the segue of Flappy Birds, what about Goat Simulator?
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Goat Simulator.
Nelson, tell us about Goat Simulator.
It's a goat simulator. You play as a goat.
You lost me.
Right?
Well, it's you, right?
Okay.
You're playing as a goat, and you can walk around and ram things.
Okay, yeah.
You can get hit by cars and go flying. Ragdoll physics.
Huh.
You score points by either getting hit by cars or ramming things.
Okay.
You're a goat. You can climb ladders, but when you do, your head gets caught in every rung.
That video.
So imagine a goat climbing a ladder, and it's like ding, 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 all the way up.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to send you this video. Hang on.
I'll link it down here. Instant messaging isn't available.
I'm using an old version. It's the one that doesn't crash on my.
It's fine.
computer.
It's fine.
So the story behind this is apparently it was who was the developer? Can't remember. He's got a Twitter account. He was screwing around with an engine that he was working with and put in a goat, and it just sort of spiraled out of control from there. But is this like, can you get this? Or is it still just a tech demo?
No, I think this is. Yeah, I don't think it's actually been released.
So it's like Burnout Paradise Goat Edition.
Pretty much.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. I mean,
Goat Simulator.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I mean, now I want to talk about all the bad sim games out there.
You mean the amazing sim games that Germany loves so much?
Oh my god! Like there's. Football coach simulator. There's fucking cycling coach simulator. There's what was it? The big rig simulator. I can't remember the name of that one. I actually played it, and it was horrible and really hard.
There was that horrible one that got released a little while back, the airport simulator, that was completely broken. There's a bunch of really funny videos about that one.
That would actually look kind of fun.
It's awful.
What they should do is actually make NSA airport agent simulator.
I wouldn't be
so
surprised
like Papers, Please, but
no, breast milk not allowed.
Papers, Please is pretty much that.
Then there's car mechanic simulator. There's
that one's actually not bad.
Yeah,
really?
I always want to make a war game where I play as the logistics tech in the back, just making sure the bins were full of bolts.
Comms guy.
Call it They Serve 2. Yeah, comms guy. I was a comms guy, so
sweet.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Well, you're Canadian military, right? So you actually had to see some action. Yeah, anyway.
No. Sims, yeah.
Now, did you hear that James Franco is going to direct a behind-the-scenes movie about The Room?
Really?
Yeah, I heard he
Disaster Artist, My Life Inside the Room.
Because Disaster Artist is a book by the guy who played Mark, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he optioned that book. He optioned the book, and
James Franco was like, you know what? I want to do this.
Hi, Mark. That could be interesting. That movie's pretty. It's something. I don't know if it's something else.
Yeah, it's something. All right.
I haven't seen
clips.
it.
Oh, you should watch it. It's pretty great.
I did not hit her.
It's if you haven't watched it front to back, just sit down, maybe have a drink or two, and just watch it. It's really entertaining. But it's not entertaining for the reasons he's trying to make it entertaining.
I don't know. We sat down with like a bunch of beers and every Uwe Boll movie ever made up to that point, and I think it permanently damaged my brain.
Oh, speaking of Uwe Boll,
bad.
I was browsing the old Netflix and saw, what was it, War on Wall Street, starring Dominic Purcell from Prison Break. And he also played the Dracula or whatever in Blade 2, I think. And
3.
it could be 3.
Say 3, yeah.
And it was 3, sorry. I was tempted to start watching on Netflix, and then I saw who it was directed by. And immediately I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Directed by Uwe Boll. Pass. Yeah. I'm going to watch something else.
Yeah.
Whew.
That guy is a horrible director, and he shouldn't be allowed to make movies anymore.
Exactly.
Someone just needs to break his head.
Why are we even putting his name into the internet now? Like, we're not helping.
I don't know.
We're not helping.
No, we're not.
It's like Valentine's Day. Complaining about Valentine's Day just perpetuates the problem. If you don't like Valentine's Day, ignore it.
I just choose to.
Valentine is just a one word, you know. So is suicide, and so is lightly attended funeral. So that's my thoughts on Valentines in general.
Wow,
that got dark in a hurry.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the games we played this week.
I've actually played games this week.
You played games this week.
I can contribute.
Let's start with you then, Nelson. You're very excited.
The Wolf Among Us, episode 2, Smoke and Mirrors.
Cool.
It was a little over an hour, and I really liked it. I like where they're going with the story. It was as fun as I was hoping it was going to be. A number of complaints, though. Everyone's like, it's too short. It's $5 for an hour's worth of gameplay. Come on. You can spend $5 on a fucking hamburger and
who's saying that?
Spend like 2 minutes eating it.
Let's get them, guys.
I don't know. People who quantify the value of a game by how long it is, fuck that. But anyway, it was really good. I liked it. I can't wait for episode 3, which will be 6 more months?
Well, about a year, yeah.
Yeah, Telltale, good times.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, a little bit of Spelunky. I still hate that game. And
I want to play that one. So it's all everybody's talking about.
That's so fucking hard. And Loadout.
Loadout looks good.
Brian's recommendation. He's like, you know what? Download and install Loadout. So I was like, fuck it. All right, I will. And it's hilarious. I play as the giant fat chick with the saggy tits.
That's great. How much is that one?
Free.
Loadout is free.
Free to play.
Free, buddy.
Now, is it free to play or pay to win?
Nope. No pay to win. The microtransactions are present in the game, but it's like, you know how Team Fortress 2, a lot of people go ape shit over, like, look, I got a new hat, or check out my new pants. Same thing. Loadout is specifically pay to change how your character looks. That's it.
Yeah.
There
are boosters. There are boosters for XP and the currency you use to customize your guns in the game. But the only thing you can really pay for out of the gate is cosmetic stuff.
That's good to hear. What? It's a first-person shooter, yeah?
Yep.
Third person.
Oh, sorry.
Third. Okay.
Third person arena shooter. So
is it like? Because I really enjoy arena shooters. I mean, I still play Quake Live quite a bit.
You played a lot of Tribes, right?
Yeah, I played a fair bit of Tribes. That
like
too.
This.
Is it fast?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, it's
and
real
another
fast.
thing to
and
mention.
It's gory. Gory as hell.
Expect to die a lot.
Yeah.
Like
your health meter is guts.
Payday 2, you can get through an entire quote-unquote mission without ever getting downed. Loadout, just expect to get shot the fuck up regularly.
Yeah. It's got a bunch of different modes. It's got a capture the flag type mode. It's got a kill confirmed type mode. It's got it's got a couple of weird ones where you're basically like collecting stuff on the map and dropping them off at a central point.
Yeah, Plutonium.
Plutonium.
That one's my favorite.
The main draw of the game. Yeah, the main draw of the game is the weapon customization though. because you can build your weapons from the ground up. Like you choose a sort of a basic style of weapon, whether that's rifle, launcher, beam weapon, pulse weapon.
Yep.
And then you can customize the barrels, the stocks, the magazines. Like you can have large, the type of ammo you fire.
The ammo dynamics.
Yep.
The fun part about that too is when you kill someone, they drop their weapon and you can pick it up.
Yep.
And I've picked up some pretty fucking cool weapons. But as soon as you die, you lose it. But still, that's a cool little perk.
And they've done a pretty good job of balancing the weapons in a way that nothing is overpowered. Like you have to pay to unlock a lot of stuff, but it just changes how you play. It doesn't so much change the strength of the weapon. Like I'm on one of my characters. I'm still using the basic assault rifle that comes with that you start the game with, and I'm on a mission to try and upgrade that because you level up the guns as you use them.
Oh, that one! Throw on the extended magazine and spooling. Yeah. It just tears people to shreds.
I've got a pulse gun like that actually, but the weapons are all just different. None of them are really more powerful than anything else. At least not that I've seen so far. There's measures and countermeasures for everything. And
sniper rifle 2-shot.
Yeah. And you can even go run around with a gun that heals people, which is pretty funny too.
Yeah, I haven't even tried that. You said you were doing it, but I mean, and I've had people doing the same, and it's cool, but it's not one of those play styles that I would really go with.
Well, I played the medic a lot in Team Fortress, so it was kind of natural for me.
This game's kind of a natural progression from Team Fortress to something a little bit more modern and fun.
Yeah, same kind of aesthetic, same kind of cartoony visual style. A lot more blood, though, a lot more gore.
And a Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, it's got Wilhelm screams in it. It's got cartoon physics a lot of the time, and it's just a blast to play.
I'll give it a try. Is it mostly hit scan or projectile weapons?
There's a mix. Okay. The beam weapons are hit scan. The rifles and the pulse weapons are not, and the launchers, of course. You got to do your standard aim at the feet kind of thing with those. If you want to have some success, time your shots. But you can just I find that you can just go in and fart around with the weapon creator because you can test anything you build. You don't have to actually unlock the parts until you're actually set on what you want to build, right? So you can go in and test anything that you have access to and run around with it and see how it fires. And then when you're confident in it, you take it out from that bit of multiplayer.
And if you don't want to actually jump right into a live game, they have co-op with AI.
Yep. Cool.
So, you can get a bunch of friends together, team up, and then fill in the gaps with some AI players. And, just get a good feel for how each game type works. Because some of them, they're a little frustrating at first. You're like, what the hell do I do? Probably the most fun is getting the hammer.
Oh, yeah. Capture or drop the hammer.
I actually managed to smack 5 people with one hammer in the match, and that pretty much almost won us the match in one capture.
It's a capture the flag type of game, but the flag is basically a gigantic hammer, which means you can't. You have only a melee attack when you're running back with it, and the more people you smash with the hammer on your way back to your flag, the higher the points you score.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's so much fun. When you hit someone with that hammer, dude.
Yeah,
definitely worth a download. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, give it a shot. It sounds fun, and free is a good price
for a 2 gig game. I mean, I enjoy it. It's fun because you just can pick up, jump in, play for a little bit, and be like, all right, I have my fun, and then go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I played this week.
Very cool. Who wants to go next?
Spencer.
Spencer's been
voluntold. Yeah, so I've been playing. I play Civ a lot anyway, but I kind of started playing that again. That's always sort of a background noise for me. Civ's just something I go to when I'm bored. Like I will fire up Civ and start a new game, and I've been playing that. But aside from that, there was that free download of Legend of Zelda: Four Swords. Right. Which is awesome if you have a 3DS and you had a chance to grab it. And this is one of those weird ones that Nintendo really should make this available all the time because it's a great way to demo the the ad hoc wireless feature of the 3DS. And this is a game that it's a ton of fun on its own, but it's an older game. Like, it's a Game Boy Advance game that at the time, it's one that I always wanted to play, but it was impossible to get 4 people together with 4 carts and all the cables you needed to get Game Boy Advance multiplayer working. So, this game, when you download on the 3DS, is actually a DSiWare game. So there's some artifacting in the visuals because the 3DS screen isn't like, you can't multiply it by a full number to get, like, the resolution isn't divisible by 1 or divisible by 2 to the DS. So there's a little bit of a scaling issue, but just like any DS game you play on a 3DS, it doesn't scale 100%. Although you can disable scaling on the 3DS by holding Start and Select when you start up the game. It'll play it at its native resolution, which is kind of cool.
Enough, I didn't think it was that bad.
No, it looks pretty good. It does a decent job. Where you notice it mostly, or where I saw it mostly, was in the text. It looks kind of fuzzy. But again, minor complaint, because it was free and it plays really well. We were playing it the weekend it was released, and I played through the first couple maps, and it's really fun little game. It's plays a lot like the Minish Cap, which plays a lot like A Link to the Past, and you have to work together to solve these little puzzles and beat bosses, and you're kind of competing for rupees throughout the entire match, and it's the kind of game that really begs you to troll the people you're playing with. Like, you can pick them up and throw them down pits and stuff, but it's counterproductive. Like, it'll get you that. It might help you win.
There's just one little there's just one little part where you have to have all 4 of you to lift up this giant rock, and he who lets go of the rock first can grab all the rupees underneath the rock and let the other people suffer. It's a neat little mechanic.
Can everybody else drop the rock on him?
Well, they're left holding the rock essentially, and they have to keep holding it up, and
But if they could drop the rock on them, that'd be awesome.
It's one of those games where it's very much it's like New Super Mario Brothers, where the only thing that's keeping you from being a complete asshole to everyone else you're playing with is the fact that they're within punching distance of you. Yeah. So you're really walking a social tightrope with it the whole time. And I really enjoy games like that, where you're just sort of like, how far can I push this before everyone else doesn't want to play with me anymore?
Oh, was that Transform Ice one? It was like that.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes. That was a great one. Yeah. So that's been fun. And then Bravely Default came out, and Amazon got it to me. I never pay for the fast shipping, and with my pre-orders with Amazon, I always get it on release day. And I was super happy to see that at my front door when I came home from work on Friday.
Right on.
Just, the big collector's edition box with the art book. Oh, it's fantastic.
I downloaded it. That was a nightmare. I had to delete pretty much everything on my SIM card to get that thing to install. It's a big game.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Because you get, a 4 gig with the system?
Yeah, and that's pretty much takes the whole thing. So.
Oh, wow.
That's not cool.
Well, there's a lot of voice acting, so... Like, the Japanese and the English voiceover work is in there, so you got to figure that's a lot of storage.
Yeah, the localization stuff.
I've been fairly impressed with the English voice acting. It's not bad. If I have the option, I'll turn it off and put on the Japanese track. But this one sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of like the Japanese one. But what are your thoughts? How far are you into the game so far?
I've just picked up all 4 party members. And I'm just about to sneak into that fort, I guess. But yeah, so I'm not super far into it. But I'm really enjoying it. It's fun. I like the fact that I've been wiped a few times by being stupid, by using the brave system badly. Being too brave, and then basically giving the enemies 4 free turns to pummel me without anything I can do. But I like it. It's got a decent level of challenge. It's beautiful. The game looks incredible.
The 3D effect on the towns are stunning. I've never experienced. I never thought I would say like a 3DS game looks so good, but this one really does.
Yeah, the whole visual style of the towns looking like paintings you have to really see it to believe it. It looks, it's so well realized. It reminds me a little of Legend of Mana on the PlayStation 1.
Right.
That game wasn't great as a game, but its visual aesthetic was very, very well realized, and it just kind of reminds me of that. Except the gameplay in this is also. It's very nostalgic for me. It feels like a proper Final Fantasy game. It feels like a proper Final Fantasy game, which we haven't had since 9.
Right.
And that's really refreshing because I really enjoy the old Final Fantasy games. I played pretty much all of them. They were staples in my gameplay since the NES era. So it's nice to see a return to that. Like a return to form for Square. And I don't care that it doesn't have the Final Fantasy name. It is a Final Fantasy game.
It is.
All
Phoenix Downs.
Yeah, Phoenix Downs. I noticed there's a neat little tie-in to 4 Heroes of Light. Like the predecessor to this game was a DS game called Final Fantasy 4 Heroes of Light. And there's little nods to that as well. Like the way you save by talking to the adventurer, that's from 4 Heroes of Light.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the reference to that.
Yeah, so there's little nods to Final Fantasy throughout it. So I can't wait. I haven't dug into a good Japanese RPG in years, so really excited to be playing this. And it sounds amazing. Like this is a game that
musically, yeah.
Oh, you need this is a game you really owe it to yourself to play with headphones or plug your 3DS into a stereo because the 3DS speakers do not do the soundtrack justice. There's these great, like when the battle starts, the first time I played with the stereo hooked up was about 10 minutes before this call started. And I was shocked. There's this whole bass line that you can't even hear on the 3DS speakers when you plug it into a stereo whenever you start a battle. Yeah. So far really impressed. I'm super happy with the purchase. Looking forward to completing this one.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Yeah, there's actually a pay-to-play model in here, although it doesn't interfere at all with the game. There's S points, I believe they're called. So you spend S points to do additional attacks, in addition to your brave attacks. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I might be oversimplifying it, but if you want to do more attacks, you can pay actual real-world currency to get more S points. But I've never actually used it. I have one. They give you one by default, and if you leave your game in standby mode with the game running in the background, you'll acquire more S points. So just weird.
Yeah, I think it's every 8 hours you earn 1 S point, and you can only carry up to 3 maximum. So it's like if you're really I used it just to see how they work, and it gives you a free turn basically. So it's not even like a super overpowered, pay to win item, but I could see it being helpful if you're stuck at a boss fight to have a couple of those handy.
Yeah.
But
the street pass. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I just was going to say I don't think I could see myself paying for this. There's no reason to.
No. The street pass are pretty interesting too. When you get a street pass from someone, you actually get that character that you can use during a combat. And that character is so overpowering, like it'll destroy any boss. Like I actually haven't used it yet, but I just saw some videos where a guy will come up to an encounter that's way over the character's head, and they just use a street pass character to destroy it. 5 times the hit points of the monster. So yeah, some balancing has not been done in this game, but I can forgive it.
Yeah. There's also the street pass is used as well there's a sort of mini game of rebuilding the village of Norende.
Yeah.
And the more people you street pass, the more workers you have. So it cuts down the amount of time that is spent. And part of me is tempted. I set up a home pass a while back, which is basically I use my phone as a fake street pass relay. Oh. And I use it just to play with it. And I was like, I could totally break this game by just street passing like hundreds of people with this home pass. But
we lost Brian.
I'm still here.
He's playing Spelunky, everybody.
No,
I'm calling him out.
No, I'm not.
I saw on his
Bored, man.
yeah.
No, I'm not. You guys are talking about Nintendo stuff. I don't have a 3DS. So.
Well, look, what are you getting for Christmas?
So you're gonna play him a 3DS?
Yeah,
Sweet.
sure.
You're like the bestest friend ever.
Well, it's probably better than bobbleheads and steins. That's what I.
Good point.
World of Warcraft
those are both
steins.
awesome gifts, Dan. Those still hold places of pride in my home.
Gosh. Hopefully it wasn't painted with lead. It was. I really.
It still looks like me,
Brian
even if it's green.
It doesn't.
Do it.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't like it at all. Hardly ever, anyway. What have I been playing?
Yeah.
I guess Loadout, as we discussed before. Yeah, and I've been trying to get better at Spelunky, and that's just not happening.
Is that multiplayer, you guys?
It can be, yeah.
I think it's local only. I haven't found
I think
any
it might be
options
local only,
yeah, I haven't found
But
any
you can
options to
you can
going
do you can do the daily challenges, which basically means you're all doing the same dungeon if you want, or the same seed, I guess it's called. Let me just have a look at the store page here. The heck is it? I think it might be local multiplayer only, yeah. Store page, there it is.
Well, isn't there like the virtual LAN thing you can do? I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it's local co-op. Oh god, yeah. I guess you could do it that way, but yeah.
Too much work.
But yeah, I don't know. It's that game. It's a matter of training yourself, knowing how to react in all the various horrible situations that the game puts you in. And
Is it twitchy?
yeah. There's a fair amount of.
It's a
twitch
total
to it.
spaz game.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I don't know. There are times when you have to just slow down and take it one step at a time. Because if you don't, you end up messing up. But there's a world of strategies for that game that I'm still just kind of skimming the surface of right now. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Bombcast is dedicating a channel just for Spelunky right now. It's
Yeah. I've
weird.
been watching the Spelunking with Scoop stuff, and yeah. Another good one if you want to kind of get a sort of a basis in the game is Northern Lion. He does the guy on YouTube. He does a lot of Spelunky content as well, and his stuff is pretty good too. But yeah, I've been playing that and trying to get better at it, but it's an uphill battle at this point. I'm not really improving. I still make dumb mistakes all the time. So, aside from that, Loadout and Spelunky, I guess I've been playing. I went back to Darksiders 2.
I saw you playing that the other day. I don't
Yeah.
even know what that game is, man.
Darksiders 2?
Yeah.
Oh man, that
The
game's
second
fun.
Darksiders game. Yeah, it's basically like, imagine like a grim dark Zelda game, basically.
That's a
Okay.
good
It's
way
like-
to put it.
It's
Yeah.
like you take Legend of Zelda and set it in like an 80s heavy metal album cover universe.
Right. That's the guy that Joe Maggiolera,
Yeah.
Gira, he did that one, the designs.
Yeah.
He's
If you haven't
Yeah.
played the first one, I would wholeheartedly recommend it. I've got it on 2 different platforms now, and I played the
remember
hell out
playing
of that.
that one and getting stuck and just not able to move on and just saying, fuck it. I just, yeah.
Sorry, hang on one sec. I just need a quick break here.
Sure.
So while he's doing that, have you guys played with the Steam in-home streaming beta at all?
No,
What's that about?
Okay, so
I hear it's awesome.
Okay, yeah. So it's awesome for one. Let's just get that
Okay.
out of the way. But what it is, it's Steam released this beta, and if you join the beta group, the in-home streaming beta group, you'll be randomly
Okay.
selected. And I was lucky enough to get an invite. And what it lets you do is stream a game from one machine in your household to another. So, as an example, I brought my work laptop home, and this thing's pretty underpowered. Like I work off a desktop at home, and I just usually when I need a laptop, I'll pull something off the decommission shelf for
Okay.
myself. And so it's not a fast machine at all. It's got like a gig of RAM, and it's an ancient processor. But I was playing Civilization 4 in bed the other day, or Civilization 5 in bed, streaming it off of my gaming computer over
Wow.
Wi-Fi, and it works really good. Like it pipes the audio to the laptop, it pipes the video to the laptop, and it pipes my input from the laptop back to my gaming PC.
Were you using Wi-Fi or hardwire?
That was over Wi-Fi. And I found that Wi-Fi, there was about, I want to say like a millisecond of lag.
Yeah, I heard there was a bit of delay, which they're going to eventually sort out. But, for the faster-paced games, that could be a pretty big issue right now.
Yeah, for a strategy game, it was no problem. I found the latency was not an issue. And just for fun, I have a home theater PC as well. And again, it is not a fast machine. It's like a Pentium dual core. It's slow. You can't run anything on this. And it's got a little NVIDIA 210, just something cheap that has an HDMI out. Like I just needed something that was cheap and passively cooled. So this thing, you can't run anything on it. You can't run Castle Crashers on this thing smoothly. But
oh wow!
But using this thing, I was playing just to test it out. I was playing Devil May Cry again, This was using over gigabit Ethernet, and there was basically zero latency.
Amazing.
Or not zero, but negligible latency. I was able to play a game that requires a fair bit of precision timing in your attacks and movement, and it played fantastically, and it looks so good. There's very little compression artifacting. Like unless you look really closely, you wouldn't realize you were looking at a compressed video stream. Super impressed. And then suddenly, SteamOS is starting to make a lot of sense to me as why you'd actually want to install that in a box and hook it up to your TV.
Yeah.
Because you can just stream from your big gaming PC. Or take it a step further, you could have a really powerful PC sitting in your closet or in your basement where it's not making a bunch of noise and heat, and just stream the games to whatever computer you have anywhere else in the house.
Your own online server.
Yeah, transitioning back from a peer-to-peer setup to a terminal setup for your home entertainment needs.
Yeah.
It's like a locally hosted Gaikai.
A what?
Gaikai, that was the thing we were talking about.
Yeah, we were trying to remember that. We were trying to remember the name.
It was on live or Gaikai.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Very cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Again, because it's Steam, it's one of those things where they'll fuck with it for quite a while, and once they get it totally ironed out, ship it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Honestly, they could ship it right now. It works.
They do very frequent things too. Did we kill Spencer?
No, sorry, I missed that. Your mic.
They're doing like tons and tons of frequent builds and updates, like almost daily. Actually, sometimes multiple times in a day.
Yeah, if you're subscribed to the Steam beta client updates, I get updates at least once a day. It's pretty quick.
Have you tried a VLAN back to your home and see if it'll work that way?
I VPN'd. I VPN'd my. Okay, so when I was at work the other day, just for shits and giggles, I remote desktop to my home computer and then connected it to the work network via VPN. Opened up all ports, and it did not work. So I'm not sure if it's. There's no option to set what network adapter it's broadcasting off of. So when you're connected over a VPN, you're connecting through a virtual adapter, and I couldn't figure out any way to make it talk through the virtual adapter.
Probably using multicast or something.
Yeah, so that didn't work for me. But I might keep playing with it. See how,
yeah,
because
that'd be
playing
fun.
Civ at work would be kind of neat. I did not to say that at all.
What have you been playing, Dan?
Well, I sort of I was talking with Spencer there about Bravely Default. Boy, that name is stinky. Like, they couldn't have come up with something better than Brave. Like, how about Brave by default? Put a modifier in there.
Literal Japanese translations of things.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not the worst one that they've ever done, but
No, but I mean, it's one of those weird things where it's a Japanese game that had an English title, and they just decided to keep the English title intact.
So, I like it. Everybody said, I mean, the complaints about the game is the pacing, and I can kind of see why, because the beginning, I mean, I've only played about an hour of it, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But, it's some parts in the game where okay, shit, I'm not really sure what's happening. I'm not sure where to go next. But thankfully, it does actually put a little, that we've all come to expect, that exclamation mark, thanks to World of Warcraft. So that's scattered around to let you know where the quests are in the world. So Yeah, I've been playing that. I never thought that I would get back into a JRPG again, but they've changed enough of the core mechanic enough that it's interesting, and it's not just the combat. It's what's happening behind the scenes too. Like the jobs you can select are interesting. The characters are interesting. Like they're not cookie cutter sort of characters. Like one character is just a blowhard sex fiend, and
What?
And it's to a fault. Like he's flawed because of it. And I just, I'm at the very tip of the iceberg of the game, and I'm actually just craving going back to it.
So you want to wrap this up then, you're saying?
Yeah, so that's thanks for joining us. No. Anyway, I just I haven't been this excited about a game in a while. So
cool.
yeah, check it out for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of been a bit of a dead zone the last little while, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot new going on
For games in general, or
just in
general and gaming news. Like most of the game news channels I follow, they're like, so there's not really much to talk about this week. Stuff.
Well, it's the beginning of the year. Seems like everyone was trying to get everything out before for the holiday season, and there's always a little bit of a lull. So,
Plus new consoles.
Good time to get caught up on the backlog.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
We should probably also mention the fact that we have a Twitter account. Our Backspace on Twitter.
Oh yeah, guys, listen. I mean, not just you guys, but internet. We have a Twitter. I see some people actually out there do tweet us, Twitterists.
Twitter us. That sounds like anatomy.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, don't know why I said that.
That was awesome. Awkward.
Yep.
Yeah. At our Backspace. OUR Backspace.
Our Backspace, also our website, but it's not very interactive.
Touch us
you can
right
go there.
Twitter us.
Yeah, Twitter us.
Touch us right there.
Well, thanks, guys. See you next week.
Cool.
All right. And we out.
Good night.
Okay.
So, all right. Yeah. Thanks. That's really good show. We're getting really good show.
Really
There we
good.
go. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. That's